All right, guys. So we are live right now for today's session. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear
Yeah,
me?
sure. Yeah, sure. I can hear you.
All right, guys. Currently online. I know they can't wait what we have for them today. As you all know, this has been an amazing fourth time this session. It has been very amazing. It has been huge. So I'm happy, and I want to thank you for joining us, our and audience, taking a lot of progress. We don't have this so that will happen in coming sessions and coming weeks again. Good one. So I want to go this complex topics in together.
Since we lost Prince, and I hope you will join back in a few minutes.
In all we are doing. So our mission is to equip talent, you know, both people that have access to the right resources and people that don't have access to the right resources. If you don't have access to the right resources, we give you access. If you have access, we help you to maximize the resources and everything you have, to create a very good, profound tech skill. And we also help you to gain exposure as you progress in your career. Okay, so today we are looking at having a session about software engineering. Okay, and we are privileged to have some software engineers here among us. Patrick is a senior full stack engineer. Praise Idowu is also a software engineer, and she's here with us. One amazing thing about this session is that you come to meet many people from different background, and also there are those who are doing well in their field. Praise, she's a lady. Patrick is a guy. So gender is not a limitation in tech. That's one thing that this session will communicate to you. Okay, so as I've introduced myself, I will also allow them to introduce themselves again. So, Patrick, over to you, please. Can you tell us who you are and what you do?
Hi, I'm Patra Anthony. As Prince introduced me earlier, um, full stack engineer. So I write JavaScript, I write Python and C, and I've had a couple of experience and worked with a couple of startup and companies as a developer over the years. And yeah, I can't wait to share my experience in software engineering on this session.
Wow, thank you so much, Patrick. That's a brief one. He has mentioned so many things. He mentioned full stack. Don't worry, we're going to demystify all these things in today's session. Okay. And we have an amazing speaker again today. I know this is your first time of meeting her. She's just coming to join us for the first time in this session. Okay, her name is Praise Ido. Praise Ido is a smart software engineer, and I see that she has a thing for AI. I don't want to say so much about her, but I'll just give her the I'll just give her the right opportunity and also the platform to introduce herself to you guys so you meet her personally. So praise, please. Can you tell us about yourself and what you do?
Hi everyone, it's great to be here. So my name is Grace Duru and I'm a software engineer full stack, but I specialize in backend development. And recently, I dived into AI out of curiosity. I'm also a technical writer as well, and I've been coding for 3 years now. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So
All
my
right.
stack. Okay, I'm not done
Yeah, go
yet.
on.
Sorry. So my stacks are Django, Fast API. So basically, these are the frameworks I use for my backend, and for front end, I use React. And for AI as well, I use Fast API and LangChain and open source models as well.
Okay, that's a whole lot. And this is the reason why we're having this session, because so many persons out there are really hearing a lot of things. Some persons want to go into AI, some persons using ChatGPT. The last time we were speaking, I told them that if you are using ChatGPT, you are right. And so many of them feel bad about it. So many people who are already doing AI with ChatGPT or actually had that concept about software engineering and that simple steps. But before we go here, we are connected. Can you just give us up a ride on or just say hi wherever you're coming from? Can you say hi? Oh, can you just say hi in the comment section? I want to be sure that you go into what we have for today. We have a lot to discuss today. We're talking about software. We're talking about different misconceptions that people have in software engineering. And this is not just a theory. Five experts in the software engineering space. So I'm a software engineer and I'm a backend engineer. Self praise is a full stack engineer specializing in V. This is what we call full stack front end, and we have full stack backend heavy. Okay. So Big Bullish, thank you so much for this. Thank you so much. She say hi from Enugu. I'm joining this Lagos, and other persons are joining from different parts of the country. Hi, can you just give us a thumbs up? Can you just say hello? Can you just say I'm following? Right on, guys. We want to get your feedback before we proceed. We want to be sure that you guys are hearing us and you guys are following this session, because at the end of this session, I tell you, you are not going to walk out the same person that walked into this session. You're going to have a whole lot of experience in terms of knowledge of what to do. All right. Thank you so much. You have Odinaka Chuku. Thank you so much. Also from Enugu, we're happy to have you here today, and I promise you that today's session is going to be amazing, even more than other sessions that we've had in the past. Okay. So, diving into what we have for today, a very important topic called software engineering. And I tell you that many things and there are many beliefs around software engineering. Okay, so let's say you want to build a house and you just started putting blocks on top of each other. You need a plan, you need an architect, you need engineers, you need workers. Okay. So the same thing applies to softwares. You don't just wake up in the morning and you start building software. You start building a software. There are factors, there are kind of skills, there are personalities, there are functionalities that you need to put into play for your software to become a success. Right? So um when you use an application like WhatsApp, you can send a message and it instantly gets to someone else. Sometimes across the world, sometimes the person may be far from you, but the same time it took to deliver a message to the person, maybe someone sitting by you, is also the same time it would take to deliver a message to someone in America, to someone in the US, notwithstanding the distance of the two persons communicating. There is no limitation of distance in this communication. So some of these functionalities are the things that we'll be looking at today, and how they are being controlled and how they are being put into becoming a success. Some of you, some persons have ordered food online, and have done so many things with with softwares. They've used software to solve problems. And today we are going to demystify the factor, the processes, and the personalities that are involved, so that if you want to build a career around software engineering, you actually know where and how to start it. So some persons have the misconception that development, mobile app development, yes, these are areas that we have in software engineering, but that's not all about software engineering. Okay, so today we have so many persons that will be throwing in a lot of insights about what software engineering is all about, and I want Praise to start with this question. Please, Praise, can you explain to our audience what mean when you say that you're a software engineer? What does it mean, is software engineering? Over.
Okay, so software engineering is just it comprises a lot. So a lot of people think software engineering is just about coding, but coding is just an aspect of software engineering. So it comprises of system design, system architecture. It comprises of so many things you have to put in place. When you talk about software engineering, so software engineering is basically using these tools, to solve a problem. It could be building an app, building a website, or solving a problem in AI or data science. So there was a time I posted something. I was differentiating between computer science and software engineering on LinkedIn, and I said computer science is the science, while software engineering is actually like actual building actual products. Okay, so I demystify it on LinkedIn, and so I said that coding is just a subset of software engineering. So coding is what you use, to bring these things to life. So there's the planning stage, there's the design phase, there's the maintenance, writing tests, system design, system architecture. So software engineering comprises a whole lot more than just coding. So it's about using these tools to solve problems.
All right, so much. Software engineering is a whole lot. Is that software engineering is not a single thing. It's a field that comprises a whole lot of things. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate that definition of software engineering. Okay. Though we're going to go into a more professional, more uh, theoretical definition. I love the way she placed it at a low level for beginners, because what we are doing here is not just to give you a theoretical knowledge. We want to give you an outstanding practical knowledge that actually beats the theory. Okay, so what she has just said for to us is the simplest way and one of the most robust way you can present the term software engineering to anyone. Okay, it's not computer science. Computer science is part of software engineering, but it's not just computer science, and it's not just coding. She mentioned that there are many things inside. You have designs, you have analytics, we have planning, we have we have research, we have maintenance, we have operations, we have so many things inside software engineering. And today you would know the differences between these areas and the differences between these skills that are captured into software engineering. So thank you so much, Praise. I love your definition and it's so wonderful. Thank you. All right. So guys, uh Patrick, over to you. What do you have to say about software engineering? What's your definition of software engineering?
Okay, my definition. I like comparing it with okay, she talked about a coder and a software engineer, right? And I totally love what she explained. Now, I would like to compare this. Okay, think of a coder like a chef, right? So a chef that is actually good at cooking. So the chef basically knows how to cook. Say prepare a particular meal, right? That's like say call a cook. But think of software engineer like you know an expert that oversees the entire kitchen, right? From the ingredients, to everything that safety and everything in the kitchen, right? So software engineering involves planning. It's not just coding, just like she said. Involves design, right? You design the system, you plan, you're going to test the system, you're going to maintain. And so it's basically like a whole lot, just like you've said. It's a whole lot, and it involves a lot of processes, but the main aim, right, the main result is a finished product, a functioning or a working product, that solves a real life problem.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love the definitions coming from you guys. It actually depicts the fact that you have what we call the practical experience of what we are talking about. All right. So, guys, on this comment section, please can you give us a thumbs up if you guys are following our definition, you are following this session. If this session is really giving you what you want, please can you give us a thumbs up? Hit a thumbs up on the comment section. I want to be sure that our followers and our listeners, our audience are being carried along with what we are doing. Please, if you have any glitch, if you are facing any problem, don't hesitate to drop it on the comment section. And also, if you have a question, you can start dropping your questions right now. Anything you feel that should be addressed in today's session, please, I want you to start dropping it right now on the comment section. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys. So, as they have rightly mentioned, and they've just said that software engineering is a systematic approach. There is such a thing as an approach. Okay. Uh, Praise mentioned that it's not just one thing, it's not just coding, it's not just mathematics, it's not just design. It is a set of things, and these things are structures that make up what we call software. Structure that we put together to bring out what we call software. Okay, is a systematic approach, to designing, developing, testing, and maintaining software. And I love that part. Patrick mentioned it as well, a part of maintaining software. So software engineering doesn't end at developing software, it also goes to the point where you maintain it, where you try to see what's going wrong, and you put some principles together to solve problems that people are facing while even using your software. Okay, so look at it now. I mentioned this example of building a house. When you want to build a house, you know how a house, for instance, if you want to build a house, you need an architect, you need a bricklayer, you need electricians, and you need plumbers. This is what software engineering is all about. Put it in this way, in the people that come together to ensure that house, a full structure of a house, is from the foundation to the roofing, to come. This is how software engineering is just a part of software engineering. For instance, a bricklayer in the construction industry. Okay, this is what coding is all about. The web design you talk about, the mobile design, not the entire aspect. Okay, so when you see a software, let's say WhatsApp, let's say in these apps that you use on your phone, when you see them coding to produce them, more than just writing codes to bring them into play, there are so many other things that go into play, starting from how they are being developed. People plan them. After planning, there's what we call feasibility study. People do feasibility study. They plan to see if this product is possible, can be built. Is it feasible to build something like this? It's part of software engineering. You also have those who get involved in the design. So when they are done with the planning, some persons do design. You see UI UX, you see graphic design. All these things are part of software engineering. There are persons who are called developers, those who write the codes. After the design has been done, implementation has to be done. This implementation will be done with codes. That's where you now see programming language coming in, people writing codes like Patrick, like Praise. These guys are software engineers. They write the code. These codes are written from the first day the coding comes into play. we have planning. After planning, we have design. After design, we come into implementation. So this is more like, an overview of what software engineering is all about. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for your definitions. And I still want us to look into the aspect of coding in software engineering, because this is where I don't want to stress myself. I does this set of persons cannot join work in such a team, cannot part in building software. Okay, so stress and beyond theory is difference between code and engineering. Praise, over to you, please.
Okay. So basically coding is just the actual writing of the code. So after you've gone through the planning stage, you've written out the algorithm. So it's just the actual writing of the code. That's coding. So basically to be able to code, you need to learn various programming language like Python, JavaScript, C, C++. You have so many programming language depending on what you want to be. So I'll take coding is the actual writing of code, while software engineering just encompass the whole software development life cycle from the planning stage to the design to the actual development to writing tests to maintaining the code base to pushing it into production. It just encompass everything from planning. It's an endless cycle. So coding is the actual writing of code, while software engineering encompass everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is just a straightforward answer to it. Okay. Coding is a part of software engineering. Software engineering is the whole aspect of building the software. Okay. Let me get back to our users and if they are okay with let me know if they are okay with this definition, guys. Please, if you are following us and you are listening and you're understanding what we are doing, can you just give us a thumbs up? Can you just give a ride on? Can you just say a hello? I can see some persons are following, some persons are dropping comments. Please, can I get feedback from you guys? Hello, can you say hi? Can you say hi to Praise? Can you say hi to Patrick? Can you say hi, guys? I know you love what they are telling you right now. I know you want to hear more from them. Please, can you just drop a thumbs up if you are following us, if you are hearing us? Please, can you give us a thumbs up? A thumbs up, guys. Thumbs up, guys. Please drop a thumbs up and say right on, guys. So I know they will, yeah, 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 yeah. So I know we'll get some comments from you guys. And also, please don't hesitate to drop your questions. Just drop your questions and we're going to attend to them very soon. We'll soon come to the question session. And when we come, we'll attend to all the questions in the comment section. So thank you so much. So Praise, I love your definition about software engineering and coding. Coding is an aspect of it. Those people you see that write codes, that do program, that write you get you get C, you get plus plus. So mention this is what is using programming languages to solve and implement your solutions in software engineering. So let's say you want to build WhatsApp as an application. First of all, the team will just come in. The team will plan it, and after planning it, they will think about what are the things that we need to, set up WhatsApp. How much will it take to set up WhatsApp? What are the skills that we need? What are the possible problems you are trying to solve? Has anyone solved this problem? And all these questions will be asked at the beginning stage. After answering these questions, they will do their planning, they will do a design, they will get a document called the software requirement document. Some call it software requirement specifications, SRS, SRD, whatsoever you want to call it. We'll discuss these things in our coming sessions in a more advanced session. This is a basic session. But when they get this, with this, the developer starts building. Developers start implementing the things that have been designed. Okay, so thank you so much. These developers do the coding part of software engineering. So there is a planning part, there is a coding part, there is a designing part, there is a maintenance part in software engineering. So you can find yourself in any of these areas, even the content writing part. Content writing is an aspect of software engineering, please. So if you have the skill to write, you can still be factored into the team of, I mean, a software engineering team. So keep up your good work if you are doing writing. It's very good. All right. So Patrick, can you also share your insights shortly before we proceed to the next question?
Okay, yeah. So it's not only coders, right, that can work in a software engineering team. So just like we said before, it's cuts across different skills, you know, both technical and non-technical, right? So whether you know math or not, whether you can write code or not, you know, just like Prince said, right? If you can design, then you can definitely work in a software engineering team, right? If you can manage people, right, you can definitely work in a software engineering team. So that's where products managers come in, right? So these people, they really don't do the technical part. They don't write the code, right? But they manage the operations. They manage people, right? So that's another non-technical role in software engineering in a software engineering team, right? Now we also have the writers, just like Prince said. Basically these people write, right? So when you're developing software or in a software engineering team, the whole activity, must be documented, and there are persons that take up this role to ensure that the whole steps, the whole procedures from the start to finish are documented, right? So that's where writers comes in. And there are also persons that ensures that, okay, this software we are building works as expected. So I know, yes. In this case, we call them testers, and they are technical and non-technical, testers. So a random person can be a tester, right? It doesn't necessarily have to like, have um the technical experience, right? A non-technical person can as well can test software. Please let me know if I'm still audible. Yeah, and other roles I've mentioned
Can hear you.
designers. Okay, I've mentioned managers, I've mentioned writers, right? And so many we even have marketers in the software engineering team. So if you can sell, if you can manage, if you can talk to people, you can definitely work in a software engineering team. And many other persons I can't really think of right now, but um whatever skill you have, right? There is always a way, depending on how the team is. There's always a way to factor in certain skills to a software engineering team, right? Not just writing code. So, yeah, for those joining us, you can probably tell us your skill or whatever thing do well, right? The host can see how we can factor you in, how you that skill can be useful in a software engineering team. I think that be fair enough.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Patrick just mentioned something very important about some of the rules. We have a lot of rules in software engineering, and I think it's worth it for us to consider and you know explain them better. Okay, especially when it comes to coding, there are rules specifically tailored to coding, and there are rules that are not related to coding. Okay, so please, if you are hearing me, which software role are you interested in? I want to know on the comment section. You want to be a product designer, you want to be a developer, a front end developer, you want to be a QA engineer. He just mentioned testers, want to be a cutter, be a DevOps engineer. What are the roles that you are looking up to in software engineering? What are the roles you want to please please drop them on the comment section, and I'm gonna we're going to look into some of these roles and talk about them as we proceed. So thank you so much, Patrick. I love what you just mentioned. It's very important that uh, we accept the fact that software engineering is not just about coding. And if you can't code, you can say come in. So in a software engineering team, we have different positions and we have different roles. One of the roles we have the front end developer role. Okay, the people that build what people can see. They are the ones that take care of the front end, the designs, the paint, the colors, the fonts, and all these things. They take care of them. For instance, the makeup artist or a fashion designer, that's the kind of thing they do. They are like makeup artists and fashion designers in a software engineering team. They make the application to look good and feel smooth. Okay. The person that build the user interface and everything that come to a website, for instance, on when you come to when you come to for instance to YouTube, you see the subscription button, you see the comment section, you see different aspects, of the user interface on YouTube. So these buttons, the colors, the everything you are seeing, it was made possible by front end engineers. They're the persons that developed and made it to happen. So we also have the back end developers, those that build, the powerhouse, and help to build the behind the scenes things that happen behind the scenes, like the connection with the server, the database, and many other things. So you see, I want us to explain these aspects of software engineering, because we have the back-end engineers, we have the front-end engineers, we have the full stack engineers. People have been looking into becoming full stack, like you mentioned, Patrick, and you mentioned praise about full stack, going full stack. So Patrick, can you tell us what are the differences between front-end engineers, back-end engineers, and full stack engineers? What are the difference, and which one do you feel is better or easier for beginners to adapt to?
Okay, I would like to start with an analogy, right? So think of front end like just like Praise said, right? The makeup artist. I think I love that analogy, right? The makeup artist. So their roles is basically beautifying and making the user look fine, right? So relate that to front end, right? So front end involves that part of visuals where the user sees, the parts that the user sees, right? So take for instance, if you're visiting a website, right, or an app, right? So the things you see, right? Maybe the buttons, right? The UIs, the text, and the old elements there, right? Now, those are classified as the front end. Front because it's in front and it's what you see, right? But there is something else going behind the scene, right? Just like in a movie, right? You certainly don't see certain scenes, right? There are scenes you don't see. The only thing you see is what is presented and captured for you to see. But there are many other things running behind the scene, right? So the front end is that part of software engineering that involves users interaction, right? The visuals and what actually interacts with the user, and the user can probably see, touch and interact with. Okay, that's the front end. Now I mentioned that there are things going behind the scene, and in the aspects of software engineering, they are always regarded as the back end, right? It happens at the back, and you can't really see that. So back end involves, the logic that you are seeing to work, right? So think of a website, right? So you click on sign up button, you click on the login button, and you fill in your details, right? You fill your email, your password, and you know it's function, it's works correctly. Say if you didn't have an account and you try to log in, right? It will tell you that, okay, incorrect password and stuff like that, right? And I don't know if you've ever wondered how did it know that my password is not correct? How did it know that my email is not correct, right? So and then if you happen to use the correct email, it gets you authenticated and tells you, okay, welcome, and you get access to the system. So these things, it means that there is something actually running, right, that makes that to work, as expected, right? It didn't end, at the button you clicked, right? It didn't end at, the form, the sign up form or the login form, or whatever landing page you saw, right? It didn't end there. Something, worked behind the scene and made sure that, it's working, it's functional, right? So yes, backend involves the logic, that it's the front end works, and it's usually that's when, if you mention backend, that's when you hear stuff like API, right? You hear database, right? So just a quick one, right? I know this was supposed to be a basic, but API is the middleman between, the front end and the back end, in case you hear of that, and it stands for application programming interface. Okay, so I like going a bit deeper. Now, when you hear of database, right? Now, when you try to sign in or log in, right? And then you notice that you use the wrong password and you were not allowed access, right? But when you use the correct password, you were allowed access. So what actually happens there, right? It means that when you registered, that your details were stored somewhere, right? And in the aspects of software engineering, that place it was stored is called the database. Okay, so yes, that's for backend. And um full stack. When you hear of the word full stack is front end and the back end. Okay,
Together.
so these persons, they are doing the two things. Okay, they are doing the two things, and um, they design the visuals, what the user sees, right, and they still go ahead to write the logic that makes what the user sees to work. Okay, they design the visuals, they write the logic to make the visuals work, right? And they design the database, right? I mentioned that where these data are stored at the database, right? And ensures that is seeing or interacting with on the front end, interacts with the back end, right? And stores something in the database. Okay, and this process, most of the time involves a whole lot of processes in software engineering, right? These persons can design, right? They can design, they can write the code, right? They can maintain, they can test, and yeah, it's cuts across a
They are
whole
like
lot of
the
process.
they are like jack of all trades. They carry everything together.
Exactly, exactly.
Wow. Okay,
So
so thank you so much, Patrick. I'm able to understand that front end engineering is about the things you see, the front end of a website. When you open the website, you see some write ups, you see some text, you see colors, you see logos, you see images. This is the work of the front end guys to put those things into play. Okay. But the back end guys, they are the ones that handles the behind the scenes, just like Patrick mentioned. So you want to log into a website. When you open the login form, you will see the place to type in your email and your password. These slots where you type in your email and your password was made possible because a front end engineer designed it. Then when you enter this email and password, you click on send. When you click on send point, the back end will check. Since you are trying to log in, they will check if you had registered before now. If there was no registration that happened, they will throw an error and tell you, yeah, you need to register. So you go to the registration form, you register, and when you click the register button, the backend takes your information and saves it in the database. So the database is more like where they store information, just like Patrick mentioned, is where they save information. So this is what happens. So there is an aspect of software engineering in the development aspect of software engineering that handles the front end alone. There's those that handle the back end, the behind the scene, the authentication, the security, and all those stuffs are handled by the back end engineers. And then full stack, like he mentioned, is a combination of these two. So if you have a skill in design and they can also write some logics that handles authentication, authorization, and some delicate functionality in the back end, then you can go into backend and full stack. So this is a summary of what Patrick has said, and I want also to hear from Praise. Praise, what's your take about front end and back end? I want you to specifically tell us which one is easier between front end and back end and full stack, because some persons right here wants to hear it from you. They want to know what is the fastest part to do it and what is the easiest way. Which one is easier? Many of them, excuse me guys, you like hard things. I know many persons don't like to do hard things. They want it easier, they want it simple. Please, if you are
Mm.
following, guys, I want you to give me a thumbs up. So yeah, I believe you are following and you are supporting what I'm saying right now. Give me a thumbs up, guys. Give me a thumbs up. Tell me right on. Tell Praise right on. She's about to speak to you right now, especially for ladies. I know Sim is also an encouragement to all of you if you're a lady, software engineers who are ladies. I don't want to say this, but from what I was taught in the university, the first programmer was a lady. So I don't want to say this, but that's a fact. She was a lady. Someone mentioned that the reason why programming is tough is because a lady started it. But I don't want to go into that route. But she was a lady. So there is no gender limitation in
Mhm.
software engineering in programming. Please, Praise, I need you to please throw more light on the differences and the easiest one. Thank you.
Okay, so let me use this analogy. So think of a car. Whatever you can see, that's the front end. Now think of the engine. The engine powers the car. Without the engine, the car is useless. Okay. So you can think of the engine as the back end. You can't see it, but it actually works, right? So let me use another analogy. Look at us as humans. What you can see, that's the front end. We have the digestive system, we have the nervous system, all of these, like you can't see these things, but they are actually what it's making us to actually be alive. So you can think of that as the back end. So now let's come back to software. You've all interacted with apps, with websites, whatever it is you can see, whatever it is you are interacting with, that is the front end. Now, the back end is the business logic, is the logic that we write that powers the front end. So the back end and the front end, they are always in constant communication. We usually call the front end the clients, whatever you are using to, access the front end. It could be your mobile phone, desktop, whatever it is, we call it the client. Then the server, we are referring to the back end that is in constant communication with the front end. So think of when you click on google.com, something is happening before the thing loads, before you can see the user interface. It's communicating with the backend, then it brings those resources and then you can view it. So basically, whatever it is you can see and you can interact with, that's the front end. The logic, like that makes it to actually work, is what is the backend. So talking about which one is easier to learn, I'll say it's front end, because you see what you are building. Like you can see it, you build a button, it looks beautiful. You feel encouraged. Like I remember when I first started, just building all these basic things, a button, I build a small website and all of that. It's quite easier because you see what you are building, right? So I'll say it's front end that I'll say, like, as a beginner, even if you want to go into back end, I'll say front end. It's quite easy and it's more encouraging. Like, you are seeing what you are building. But talking about back end, it's literally, APIs. So you might not really, like, you have to like really understand how front end works to be able to, to be able to understand and build back end. You don't really like need to like go so deep into front end. So for me, what actually made me to stick to back end was the fact that I just enjoyed, the whole thinking phase, like, the whole writing the logic and all of that. It just felt more interesting to me than building, like, I don't like, I enjoy writing the logic behind the scenes, all of that. It just feels more enjoyable to me than the front end. Now, as a front end developer, now you are already building something. You can actually show the progress. Like, I know how tough it is. Like, especially for someone like me that usually like post my progress on LinkedIn. I know how tough it is to like post about my progress in backend because I'm literally not showing any UI. There's nothing beautiful, nothing fancy to show, just some bunch of URLs. So it feels like I'm not really like making much progress. Like, literally the front end, you can see what you are building. Like, it literally just feels like you are seeing that you are actually making progress. But for the back end, something actually have to work before you show it, right? So I'll say front end is like it's more easier to learn. And I think I've answered all the questions. Which one is easier to learn? And what was the last question? Is it which one is hardest, right? Okay, you asked.
I think you have answered it. I
Okay.
think you have answered it. Yeah, I think I've answered it. So thank you so much. Well, actually, for me, I want to share my own view on this. Uh, Coming into learning, I started learning with HTML and CSS, and these are front end tools, not back end tools. Though I enjoy writing back end scripts currently than doing front end. Okay, so there is this aspect of your career decision that has to do with your personality, where you need to choose between what you like going with and what doesn't go for you. Okay, for me, I think I'm not this kind of person that likes colors and likes painting and all those stuff. But just like Praise mentioned, the fastest beginner friendly part is front end engineering. That's true because you need to see what you are doing. You need to be able to debug. You need to be able to have an experience of what you are doing as a beginner so that it can at least encourage you to keep going and making progress. If you are doing backend, yeah, you make a lot of progress, but most times it becomes a bit complicated. So when it comes to beginner friendly parts to starting a software engineering career, doing a front end related role is more easier than going the back end way. So you can do basics with front end. Let's say you want to do web development, you can do basics with front end, do your HTML, learn your CSS, and these resources are online on YouTube. You can finish them within 2 or 3 months, and then you can do your JavaScript, which is still front end. And after these basic things, you can start making decisions for yourself whether you want to major and specialize in backend or specialize in front end. So let for me, I will advise you this way: start with the beginner friendly part, something that is easier, something you can relate with, and then transition to more complex things. Okay. So thank you so much. I love that very idea and that very insight from you, Praise. Was quite cool. So guys, I don't know, some persons are still following us, but I need to see the comments coming in. I want to see what you're interested in. Are you interested in front end? Are you interested in back end? Do you want us to talk more of front end? Do you want us to talk more of back end? There is also an intersection between these two. So if you don't believe in front end, you don't believe in back end, but you are somewhere in between, you can just do full stack. Okay. So full stack is very good for people that don't believe in front end, like Patrick, I don't believe in backend. So Patrick is a full stack developer, and I know he's enjoying it. So guys,
Sure.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. Yeah, we have a lot to share with you. So, how is your experience like praise as a beginner? What kind of advice do you want to give to our audience? How was it for you? Was it very easy? What were the challenges you faced? What were the difficulties you faced? And how were you able to conquer them as a lady, especially? I know that there are a lot of things that you have to think about, but you decided to go into the software engineering space. What was your motivation?
I would say, okay, to answer the question about, please, can you come with the first question?
Okay. My question is like, what was your motivation? What motivated you, and what were the challenges you faced? Some of the challenges you faced that you want to relate with our audience, and how were you able to conquer it as a lady?
Okay. So, the challenges I faced, I'll say, as a beginner, when I started out, I'll say one of the things, one of, please, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me?
I think your network is a bit bad. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? We can't hear you. Patrick, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Prince.
Okay, I think her network is bad. Okay, Patrick, can you take that question? Can you take
Yeah,
that question?
yeah,
Some
sure.
of the challenges you faced while we wait for her to join.
Okay. I think my major challenge was the monetary aspect of it, right? So we all know if you want to go into software engineering, you are definitely going to burn a lot of data, right? So when I started off, was one of the challenges was, you know, I needed to download resources, but you know, there was the resources I needed to download. You know, they were bigger in size, and as at then, I didn't really have enough data to do that. And this has always been most of the beginners challenge, the data to actually download resources, right? And another of my challenge was um would I say a mentor, right? A mentor, someone that can actually direct you, or you say you are stuck, right? You're stuck, and um you can't really figure it out yourself. So as at then, I think my challenge was, there was nobody really there to tell me, okay, this is how I do it, right? So I just had to like figure things out all by myself then, right? And another of my challenge, I think, was the imposter syndrome, right? Where you think you are not good enough, right? I think that challenge is almost everywhere, right? And not I don't I think it's not only in software engineering, right? The imposter syndrome, right? Um, where you basically think you are not good enough and you beat yourself for that, right? And another challenge I had was, learning how to learn, right? Another challenge was learning how to learn.
Hmm.
So you want to do something, but how to learn that thing becomes a problem, right? So I think that challenge is very, very important. Learning how to learn. Okay, I want to do front end. How do I learn this front end? I can basically have all the resources in the world, right, to learn front end development, front end software engineering, without actually being able to learn it, even with the resources, right? So I think a challenge was learning how to learn, right? And it's also very, very important to know how to learn. right? The pathway. I think in our last session we talked about the pathway to follow, right? To learn different software engineering roles. I think we talked about that in our last session. I can still remember
Yeah,
things. Yeah.
yeah,
So yes, and I will also say another challenge was would I say too much information and distraction, right? But I think I figured this out, the hard way, right? Distraction. So while you're trying to learn um front end, someone will tell you, oh,
you are
try.
trying to learn front end. Yeah, exactly.
So someone will
Yeah,
tell
I had,
you,
I had, excuse me, I had that experience as well. I remember sometime I was learning like 3 to 4 programming languages at the same time, just because I was basically distracted. So people are saying so many things about this. I'll go online, they will tell me that this one is no longer, it's no longer good. This one is no longer good. You can't do this. And let me say this: programming languages are super cool. There are very good programming languages that you can lay hand on, especially those that are trending, that are very much lucrative. You have JavaScript, you have TypeScript, we have Java, we have Python, we have C++, we have Move, we have Solidity, we have Rust, we have Ruby on Rails. All these things are very good. Anyone you can lay your hand on and learn it. What matters most is how good are you with learning a particular programming language? How good are you with using it? So someone can use JavaScript to solve a problem very well, more efficiently and more effectively than somebody who was using a particular language. What recruiters look out for is your competence in a particular language, not just how much programming languages you know. The number of programming languages you know is not what makes you an expert in the industry. It is how good you are with the ones you know. So thank you so much, Patrick, for picking up these, bringing up these very aspect of challenges that beginners normally face. So I think Praise is here. Praise, can you just quickly go through? Can you hear me? I think our network is still a bit bad. Hello, Praise, can you hear us? I think our network is still bad. Okay. All right. So, guys, just as we have been saying, please, can you hear me? If you can hear me, I want you to give me a thumbs up as we wait for Praise to join us. I think she's having a little network challenge. If you can hear me, I need a thumbs up on the comment section. I need hi, I need yes, I can hear you. And encouragement with your comments, please. Encourage us with your comments. So more of the things that we have to say, though we are coming to the end of this session because we are running out of time. We are going to meet up again by next Thursday. We'll be rounding up very soon. So please sit tight and pay attention to the last part of what we have to say for today. Okay, so if you have not subscribed to our channel, please, I want you to hit the subscribe button and subscribe. Join us every Thursday here by 7 p.m. We have this session here with experts, and over the last few weeks, we've been having a lot of people joining us, coming to encourage beginners, coming to encourage, you know, uh, tech enthusiasts, to keep up the good work that they are doing and to push with the resources they have into becoming experts in their field. Praise, are you back? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, please, can you continue from where you stopped?
So to
Quickly, your
answer your
challenges and how you solve them.
yeah, so one of the challenges I faced was tutorial help. I kept on, watching a lot of videos.
I,
When I
I
watch a
think we
video,
can't hear you very well. Can you raise your voice a bit?
okay. So can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah, better now.
No. Okay, so one of the challenges I faced was tutorial help. I kept
yeah,
on,
sure, I can hear you.
watching a lot of videos. I felt, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah,
All right.
I
So
can hear you.
like I wasn't good enough. That still boils down to imposter syndrome. So I kept on, I was in this endless cycle of watching videos without building any reward project. So I'll say that is one of the challenges that I faced. And as a result of that, I didn't experience growth as I want to. Like I wasn't, because I was just in this space of watching videos and not building anything. So that's one of the challenges I faced. The second one is the imposter syndrome. Like it just feels like the more I know, the more I learn. It just feels like I feel like there's still more that I don't know. There's still, so many things that I don't know. So this imposter syndrome creeps in. Like, oh, you're not good enough. Like I feel like a fraud, or probably the knowledge I have, I kind of borrowed it or something. So another of the challenge is imposter syndrome. And another challenge I faced, I would say like it was just just learning alone. I didn't belong to any community at first. I was just solo learning, and so when I get stuck, it takes me like days or weeks to resolve the error. So I'll say that was one challenge I faced as well. But the moment I started joining communities, I started learning from their conversation. Whenever I'm stuck, I can ask questions. But the real challenge I faced was really imposter syndrome and tutorial error.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. I think like have similar challenges. That imposter syndrome comes at different points in your career development where you feel like you're not doing enough and you feel like we're not competent. But there is one thing you should have in mind, and that is a growth mindset. You should have a growth mindset. Believe that you will become better, though you don't know how to do this, but you have the capacity to do it if you continue. Every one of us that you are seeing here who can write a code, there was one day when that person could not even interpret a single line of code. Okay, we were not born developers. It was through constant learning and persistence, through perseverance, that we were able to achieve and gain the knowledge that we have today in programming. So no matter the foundation you have, last week we were talking with Diogo. Diogo was one of our speakers last session, and she's currently a cybersecurity expert. She's an information security expert, and she's doing very well in her field. To my greatest surprise, Diogo told us last week that she studied public administration, and after her studies, she went into tailoring, not even related to tech. So she came into tech from a tailoring background. So there is no background, there is nowhere you are right now that you cannot come up to become a tech expert. So take away any imposter syndrome from your mind, anything telling you that you're not competent, anything telling you that you don't have the capacity to do it. Please, I don't want you to pay attention to that voice. You have to listen to the growth mindset that you have to learn and to recover. The ability to become better is very, very important in your growth in tech. So thank you guys. Thank you everyone. I believe you guys can hear me. We are coming to the end of this session. And before we go to the end of the session, I want Praise and Patrick to tell us some of the tools that they laid hands on while they were trying to start their career, some of the tools, some free resources that you can recommend to our listeners so that after this session, they can visit them, learn, and start using them. Over to you, Praise.
So for me, some of the resources I had access to when I was learning as a beginner was free code camp. I used their resource to learn, and W3 schools as well. And video, I used most of Code with Much videos, because Code with Much is a great tutor. I'll say it's the one that even like made me fall in love with coding, because it simplifies coding, like it makes coding look so easy. So these were the resources I had access to earlier in my journey, and also Udemy courses as well.
Wow. Thank you so much. Patrick, what were the free resources? So the free resources that you laid hands on as a beginner
Um,
that helped you to come up to this level.
Praise, I think we actually use the same thing. So yeah, W3 school, free code camp, and code with much. the YouTube channel, it was really, really helpful. And I think Stack Overflow, right? So when you're stuck, you then I think I said this in our last session. Then AI was not this rampant, right? Where you can just paste the error and AI will give you the response. So I think I used Stack so much then, and those I can't really recall some name of I actually did watch a lot of them, and I can't really recall. I could check this out later and send it to Prince to share with us. And I I read PDFs, right? I read books, PDFs, right? Apart from videos, I read PDFs. So I think the idea was if I don't understand a particular topic, right, then I search for a resource that will help me understand that specific topic, right? And then if I understand that topic, I can then move to another one, right? And yeah, that was it. And a couple of friends along the way, right? That and you get to learn from them also.
Thank you so much, Patrick. It's very important that our audience, so many of them are currently exploring some of these resources. And, the truth is that some of them feel like what they are doing is not enough. Okay. So, everyone hearing us today, keep up with what you are doing. Some persons started with different backgrounds. What matters is not where you started, but how consistent you can become and how you can persist to the end, because there's definitely a point where you will come and you become a pro, but it doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen with at instant. It happens progressively. Okay, so thank you so much. We are coming to the end of today's session, and I want to encourage everybody, anyone who's listening to us and anyone who will listen to us, you have a team for software engineering and you want to come in, you don't know how to build, you don't know how to code, you are afraid of programming languages, you don't know how to design, you don't know how to write, but there is something that you can do. So there are different aspects of software engineering that we have mentioned today. You can look at some of those aspects and pick up something. Is it front end development? Those who do the front end, the styling, the fashion designers, they are the makeup artists of software engineering. We have the back end engineers, those that build the engine, like Praise said, the powerhouse. Okay. It's just like we have a car, we have the engine of the car. They are the people that are the engine of software development, the software product. We have the full stack developers, those that handle and back-end development. We also have that application runs smoothly. Okay, so when developers are done building, they are the people that will deploy it online, they maintain it, they manage the servers, they automate some processes, they ensure that most times when you come to application, you see that your application is prompting you to update the app. They help to make sure that these updates don't crash when you're putting them on your devices and when they are going to servers. Okay. You also have the QA engineers, people that do the testing, the quality assurance engineers. Okay, they test the software, they find out bugs before users make use of them. So when software engineers are done building, they write the codes, they deploy it, the test it before even giving it to you. So before it goes to production, there's what we call the staging, the testing stage. So they test it, and when they have ensured that the quality and the functionalities are working fine, they will now release it to users. You have the UI UX designer, people that do the design of how the application looks. For instance, on WhatsApp, you are seeing the box where our pictures are showing, our videos is showing. You have the box for chat, the comment section. You have the box for, you have a button that is colored, I think something red for subscription. These colors, the decision of where the button will be placed, the colors, the comment section, the decision of where the position and how to place them was made by UI UX designers. They were the persons that did the sketching, the sketch work. Okay, they sketched the application as an image. They first of all draw the application as an image, and they will look at how best it would look and how good it will be for the users to navigate through them. So this is what the UI UX guys do. We have the software architects that do the high level planning. They design the system in a high level way, how the application, the front end will communicate with the back end. We have the product managers, you have the security engineers, you have data engineers, data scientists, and so many other aspects of software engineering that we cannot mention here. There are a lot of them. Okay, so while we are bringing up this topic at this point, is that we need you to understand that software engineering is not just about coding. When people think of software engineering, they often imagine someone typing codes, but behind the scene, it is so much more. There are so many things happening. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, think of it like building a house. You don't just start by laying bricks. You need an architect to plan it, the right tools, the right team that will work together, the engineers, the civil engineers that work together to build your house. That is software engineering. Before we code, we plan, we collaborate. The software engineers, the developers that write the code collaborate with the designers, they collaborate with the product managers, collaborate with the DevOps engineers, and everything comes into play to become a robust system. Okay, so even after the deployment, there is a place of debugging where the QA testers, go into testing, checking where the application is not doing well, some of the issues that the application is facing running online, and other stuff, and improvement happens. Okay, so there are a whole lot different aspects of software engineering that we cannot finish in a particular session. I mean, in a single session like this. Okay, so today we are encouraging you, don't stop making efforts, no matter where you are, no matter the foundation, your background, you can still come into software engineering. All you need to do is pick one. For instance, if you are going into coding, if you want to be a developer, pick one language. You can start with the basic. We mentioned, just like Praise mentioned, front end engineering is very simple, and you can start with it because you can see what you are doing. So you can do HTML and CSS as your basics, and after that, you can do Python or any other programming language like Python, Java, like C, depending on your end goal. Okay, as you're learning, don't just learn endlessly. But I think Praise mentioned that she had that challenge of a learning circle. She was always watching videos and never practiced. Okay, and this was not actually giving her a good significant growth in her career. So as you learn, you practice. Don't just watch tutorials, try to build things. Okay, you can build this as simple things like calculator, just an interface that calculates, does 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, does some arithmetic logic and all those stuff. You can do your simple blog site, put your picture, write some text, design it, make it look fine, share it online, talk about it. You can do a to-do list app, anything very basic, anything you can think of that is simple for you to build, just to train yourself further from the videos you have watched. Okay, join a community like this, like Ascend. Come every Thursday, bring your questions, your challenges, drop it on the comment section. We'll help answer your questions. Join communities, look for some persons that are doing what you are doing, talk to them, communicate with them. Come to YouTube, watch videos on YouTube, go to GitHub, look at some codes on GitHub, try to debug them, try to read through them, and all those things. The same thing happens for those going into design. Okay, practice. You have Figma, we have videos on YouTube on how to use Figma. Take those videos, watch them, go to Figma, try to draw something on Figma, try to implement something on Figma, and post it online, allow people to criticize you, and so many other things. Okay, so the the aspect of starting your career is in your hands. It is not defined by the resources around you. You can always use what you have to start. We've mentioned it in previous sessions. You can go and watch our previous videos. We even mentioned how you can start with your phone. ChatGPT and AI chatbots are there. You can go there, tell them, I want to start a particular career. Let's say you want to do coding, or you want to learn how to do designs. You want to learn how to do uh, uh, product design, UI, UX design, any skill that you want to learn, you can go to ChatGPT, tell ChatGPT, give me an outline, give me a guide on how to learn this, and ChatGPT will give it to you. You take the guidelines, research for the topics, research for materials that explain those things that ChatGPT recommended. It could be videos on YouTube and so many other things. Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you for watching us. Thank you, Praise. We are so excited and we appreciate your time today. We know you are very busy, but you had to make it to this place, and we are so grateful. Thank you for the insight you shared. They are so helpful, and we appreciate it. We hope to have you some other time here when you are free. The same thing with Patrick. Patrick, we really appreciate your effort. We really appreciate your insights. We really appreciate the experiences you have shared with us. You are you are happy to have you as well, and we hope to always have you here whenever we have a session going on. So I don't know if you guys have any words for our audience. You have anything to tell them? Any more thing to say before we wrap up with the session and end it? Anything?
Okay,
Okay,
so
yeah,
what I just, okay, so what I just want
Okay,
to add,
let's Praise go first.
what
yeah.
I just want to add to all I've said so far is a lot of people come into software engineering just because they heard that software engineering is the new oil. So they are just, money minded. So I would say that if it's not something you are passionate about, you are going to stop anytime sooner. So it's better you come with that mindset because you are really passionate about software engineering. You are really passionate about solving problems because bugs is going to teach you patience. Like you are going to really learn patience in software engineering. So it's not a get rich quick thing. I need to be very, very good because it's really like a competitive market. So you need to like be very, very good. And also this talk about AI replacing software engineers, start to see AI as a tool instead of seeing it as a competitor. So start to see AI as a tool. So most of these people that just talk about software engineering, I mean AI is going to replace software engineering. I just feel like software engineering is not just about writing code. So them just saying AI is going to replace software engineers, like I just feel like these people they are just probably trying to sell their products, or they are these content creators that just come and just talk just for clickbait and the like. So don't let that instill fear into you, because I see a lot of people are scared because they feel like AI is going to steal their job. Like we discussed, software engineering isn't just about writing code. There's a lot that comes into play when it comes to software engineering. Just see AI, it makes you more productive. It makes you write code faster. It helps you, solve repetitive tasks. So see it as a tool to use, and try learn with AI now that there's AI. So don't just say I'm not going to use AI. So learn with AI. Like it can actually teach you in a way you understand. Because when I started that, there was no AI. It was just Stack Overflow and YouTube video and looking for results. But now I can learn something really fast. AI can break it down in a way that I will understand. So I'll say don't don't let these people instill fear in you, because I see a lot of people want to go into software engineering, but they are scared that AI is going to replace them. No, it's even going to create more jobs for software engineers, because when it comes to security, this is something I've seen, like a lot of jobs where AI generated code, they want software engineers, to come and, refactor this code. So I'll say that don't be scared. Like software engineer, AI is not going to replace software engineers anytime soon. As calculator did not replace mathematicians. Thank you.
Wow, that is a strong line. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So AI is your companion, is here to complement you, make you more productive and faster. All right. So don't be afraid, guys. Patrick, over to you.
Well, I think Preza has said it all. I mean, she has literally said it all. And yeah, I just want to add to that, right? So, yes, software engineering is not a gets rich, what's it called? Scheme, right? So, it's not something you start today, tomorrow, and, I know, yeah, there are some
You
content
blew.
creators out there, promising, yeah, promising, heaven and earth, within few weeks, that you probably start or learn something, right? Um, yeah, you may be lucky that may actually work for you, but I think we are here to tell you that it doesn't really work that way. Okay, so it's a lifetime career, and I it's definitely involves putting in the time, the determination, right? Don't let anybody actually lie to you. It's not that easy, right? I'm not saying it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, right? Depends on how you look at it, right? And it depends on your experience and what you're actually going to come to see out of it, right? To some persons it's hard, to some persons it's not achievable, right? To some persons it's difficult, but there are persons making a fortune out of it, right? There are persons making it's in software engineering. So if you're thinking it's hard, it's not achievable. Some persons have actually, achieved, a fortune from it, right? So, yeah, as I said, it's a lifetime career and it involves determination, sitting your ass down and, learning a whole lot, right? Figuring things out and nobody's coming to save you, right? So, you have to put in the work. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. I really love and I appreciate your time today. Thank you, everyone that's been listening to us. Thank you for following us. You can follow us. We have on LinkedIn, we are Twitter, X. We're on Facebook and Instagram. We share information across these platforms. And always remember that Thursday by 7 p.m. West African time is our meeting time here in this channel. And always bring your friends and your colleagues to follow us. No matter your background, we are here for you. So thank you so much. Software engineering pays, but you need patience. You need time to learn and become good in software engineering. So guys, I wish you all nice time. I wish you all success in your career. And Praise is also on LinkedIn. The same name, Praise Idowu. Please follow her on LinkedIn. Follow Patrick on LinkedIn. I'm also on LinkedIn. Prince Chisomaga, follow me on LinkedIn. Anytime you have any question, you can also come to my DM. I'll always put you through. I'm always here. I'm always happy to guide you through your challenges because I know that that's not the end. It's just a stepping stone to the next level. Thank you all for joining us today. I appreciate you. If you have not subscribed to our channel, click the subscription button. We love you all. Take care of yourself. Bye.